If you're looking for a caregiver in Long Beach for a parent or loved one, this is something most families don't realize until it's too late. Not all caregivers are created equal, and more importantly, how you hire them can actually put you at legal and financial risk. Today, I'm going to try to break down the real differences between agency caregivers, independent caregivers, and those so called independent contractors. Because this decision can save or cost you thousands of dollars and a lot of stress. My name is Chrysler, and I work with families throughout Long Beach, Lakewood, Downey, Bellflower, and San Pedro, helping them navigate home care for their loved ones. And one of the most common questions I get is, should we just hire someone privately to save money or go through an agency? It sounds like a simple decision, but it's actually not. Now let's start with the three main ways families hire caregivers. First, you have agency caregivers. This is when you work with a licensed home care agency like Right at Home Long Beach, and the caregiver is actually an employee of the agency. That means the agency handles everything: hiring, background checks, payroll, taxes, insurance, scheduling, training, all of it. You're not the employer. Second, you have registry caregivers, sometimes called independent contractors. These are services that connect you with a caregiver, but they often label them as 1099 contractors. And this is where things get tricky, especially if you're in California. Third, you have independent or private caregivers. This is when you hire someone directly, maybe through a referral, Craigslist, Facebook, or a friend of a friend. And of course, this is usually the cheapest option up front, but it comes with the most responsibility. Here's the biggest misconception I see all the time. Families think they can hire a caregiver as an independent contractor and avoid employer responsibility, so being not an employer of that caregiver. But in reality, especially in California, that's usually not true. If you're telling the caregiver what time to show up, what to do, how to care for your loved one, then legally you're acting as the employer, which means you could be responsible for payroll taxes, workers' comp, and liability. A lot of families don't realize this until something goes wrong. So really after the fact. Now let's talk about cost, because that's usually the biggest factor here, of course. Private caregivers are almost always, actually always, cheaper on an hourly basis. And I get it. That's appealing when you see that upfront price. And that's where most people don't factor in, well, what happens if that caregiver calls out sick? What happens if they get injured in your home? What happens when your loved one suddenly needs more hours or even 24/7 care? Now, you're not just a family member, right? When you hire them, you're a scheduler, a recruiter, a manager, and an HR department. And this is where agencies really stand out. When you work with a company like Right at Home Long Beach, you're not just hiring one person. You're hiring a team. You're hiring a system. If a caregiver calls out, we replace them. If care needs increase, we scale with you. Even if care decreases, we lower it as well. And if something goes wrong, you're not alone trying to figure it out. For a lot of families, especially adult children, juggling careers, kids, that sandwich generation, that peace of mind is everything. And here's the honest truth. There is no perfect option. Some families, of course, do great with private caregivers, but many underestimate how much work and risk it actually is. So the question really isn't just what's the cheapest option for you or your family. It's what level of responsibility do I want to take on? If you take away anything from this video, let it be these three things. Number one, most caregivers are not truly independent contractors, no matter what they're called or you call them. Number two, lower hourly cost doesn't mean lower overall cost when you factor in risk and time. And number three, agencies cost more because they remove the burden from you. They have a system in place. So if you're in Long Beach or the surrounding areas and you're trying to figure out what's best for your situation, feel free to reach out. Here to help. Even if you don't end up using an agency, I'd rather you make an informed decision than learn the hard way. And as always, if this video helped you, please like, subscribe. We share a lot of content around senior care and how to navigate all of this without getting overwhelmed.